plaaslike radiostasie, RadioKC. Ons saai ook regstreeks uit op RadioKC vandag. Soos is baie opgewonde om hier te wees.
Yeah.
Julle het almal 'n goodie bag gekry by Dile?
I'm very excited to be here. My Afrikaans is so lekker nie, maar ek gaan maar probeer praat. Ek het nie genoeg Afrikaans data gekopie. So yeah, it's an honor to be here. I'm very much excited. Through the week, this past week, we had we spoke to a couple of people who were part of this initiative last year, and I've kind of looked at farming in a different way. I hope that you guys will be inspired and also motivated today to see the other opportunities that farming has for you guys, because we tend to look at farming on a different way. The perception is that farming is dirty.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope that you guys will take this opportunity and take as much information as possible to see what opportunities are available for you in farming and agriculture.
Perfect. I'm just going to check in quickly and then good.
Very good.
Yes. Good morning and welcome to the Food for Mzansi RadioKC live broadcast for Youth Month here on Food for Mzansi. We're currently streaming live on www.foodformzansi.co.za. I'm joined today by my co-host Bandile Shonkosa. He is a content producer and presenter at RadioKC, and my name is Dawn Numdu, audience and engagement editor at Food for Mzansi. Can everyone give themselves a round of applause? A little bit louder. Yes. So we are broadcasting live from Saron in the Western Cape. This is the second virtual Agri Career Fair that we're hosting. We are here as Food for Mzansi, and we're going to talk to you about the different diverse opportunities within the agricultural sector. We have a very, very jam-packed program. There's going to be some dancing involved. Mandela, do you have your moves ready?
I've got my white shoes on, so you better recognize.
He's very, very ready for this. So I'm very excited to have all the learners here. They're from different towns. Can everyone say who's from Gouda? Yes. Who's from Saron? Who's from Portugal? Just a few in the front. So we're looking forward to a very exciting day. We have a number of experts here. We have farmers. We also have the Western Cape Agri Farmer of the Year here today. He will also be joining us. We have a number of guests that joined us here today. So we're looking forward to a very exciting program. But to kick off, we'd like to show you a very short, actually no, I'm wrong. I'd like to invite the principal up of the school.
Yes,
He's going to open with a very short prayer for us before we show you a very interesting video about the different dynamic opportunities within the agricultural sector. Mr. Beerwinkel, baie welkom. Thank you so much for joining us.
Goeiemôre almal. Kom ons sit net so, dan sluit ons die oë. Dierbare God en Hemelse Vader, Here, baie dankie vir 'n wonderlike geleentheid wat ons het vandag hier by die skool op Saron, Here, om hierdie geleentheid te kan huisves, Here. Dankie dat U dit moontlik gemaak het saam met alle rolspelers, Here. Dankie vir die goeie dag wat U vir ons gegee het, Here. Here, dit gaan per slot van sake oor hierdie leerders wat hier sit, Here. En ons vra U om ons te seën dat ons 'n baie aangename dag sal hê. En wanneer ons weggaan, dat ons sê dit is goed vir die leerders gewees. En hulle kan uitsien na hulle toekoms, Here. Seën alles wat verder sal gebeur. Ons vra verdien nie maar enkeld genade met baie danksegging. Amen.
Baie dankie, Mr. Beerwinkel.
Thank you, sir.
So we're going to show you a short video. Everyone just focus on the screen. And looking forward to an exciting day. Thank you so much. Okay, are you guys good? Is the energy still high? Ek voel julle vol, is julle energie reg? Yes. So we're very excited about today. In your goodie bags, you'll see a little page. I'd like you to all take it out, please. It's an A to Z of agriculture, and we're going to play a little game. And the person that has the most excitement is going to get a prize, a cash prize. So you guys better get some energy going. I am happy for you to just open up quickly. Just open up that guide for me, please. Do you see this? There we go. Does everyone have it? Okay. So it's going to be interactive. I'm going to say something and then you have to repeat after me. Can you say, you all know the alphabet, right? So like A, B, C, you guys remember? You guys know what the alphabet, yeah? Okay, cool. I'm just checking as we wakker is. Okay, so I'm going to say A is for agronomist. You have to repeat after me. So A is for agronomist. A is for agronomist. B is for bookkeeper. B is for bookkeeper. C is for cattle manager. C is for cattle manager. Who think they can do that upstage? Anyone? Any volunteers? No, you guys don't want to win a cash prize? Nobody.
Can I do
Bandile,
it?
do you want to do you want to do the cash prize? Okay, so this guy that I want to show you today is an A to Z of agriculture. There are millions of opportunities in the sector, and apologies about that, the wind is not playing along today, and there are lots of opportunities within the agricultural sector, and this guy that you have in front of you is just some of the opportunities that you could possibly tap into. And we'll also be speaking to different people that work in the sector today, and you'll have the opportunity to also engage with them. Can I also have like 3 or 4 learners to come up front for me quickly? Also for a very special prize. I'm just going to ask you a few questions.
There he comes.
There he comes. Baie welkom. Wat is jou naam?
Naam is Morgan Williams.
Are you from Saron? Okay. So I'm just going to, and her name, what is your name?
Piante Jagers.
Zeg alweer.
Piante Jagers.
Bianca Jagers. Now tell me, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
Ja.
Sy sê sy het pap geëet. Nou waar dink jy waarvan het hy pap gekom?
Van die grane af.
So she says the porridge that she ate this morning came from grain. And where did that grain come from?
Boerdery.
From farming. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Oats.
Oats. You had some oats, né? So that's yummy oats. Nou, eet jy elke oggend 'n bietjie oats?
Nie eintlik elke oggend maar sommer ek voel haar eet ek maar.
And I had a cup of coffee and I had a slice of bread and some cheese. And I know that that also comes from a farmer, you know? So tell me, as jy dink aan 'n boer, wat dink jy?
Hy boer net soos enigiets, plante of werk met diere.
Maar sê gou vir my, hoe dink jy hoe lyk daai boer? Het hy kort broekie aan? Het hy 'n kakie outfit aan?
Ja, kortbroekie en vellies.
So hy moet 'n paar vellies aan het, nê? Nee. Wat dink jy hoe lyk 'n boer in jou? As jy nou dink aan 'n boer, dink jy vrouens kan ook boer?
Ja, auntie.
En hoe lyk sy?
'n kort broekie op haar safeties en 'n hempie miskien en 'n keppie.
So sy moet 'n paar safeties aan het, sy moet 'n kort broekie aan het en sy moet 'n hempie aan het. Kan sy 'n rok dra?
Sy mag nie.
Sy mag nie 'n rok dra nie. Haai, hoekom nie?
Sy kan val as sy moes nou loop en so aan die tussen.
So is prakties nie om net 'n kort broekie te dra. So julle, as julle dink aan boere, julle dink boere is net op 'n sekere manier aangetrek. They only dress a specific way. They have to wear vellies, boots. But I would like to disagree with you because I don't think all farmers look like that. I think, for example, me dressed like this, I could be a farmer. She's laughing. Do you think that's possible?
It can be possible, maar as net van pas om klere draag aan te het om aan die boerdery te gaan werk.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. Can you give them a round of applause? Well done. Okay, so that's basically just what we want to show to you today, that farming might look a certain way, but actually it's totally different. I mean, I've had an experience over the past 2 years working at For Mzansi that really the agricultural sector is not what it looks like often. Yes, some farmers do have their fellies, some farmers do have their kortbroekies, but they also have to dress up and look nice sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to get over to our first panel discussion now. I'd like to invite our panelists to please come forward. It's going to be Dr. Celia Lowe. He's from SAPO, the Western Cape Liaison for Veterinary Science. Dr. Celia Lowe, can we ask you to come to the front, please? Can you all give him a round of applause? Then we also have Joandra Gregory. She is the finalist in this year's Agri Western Cape and Santam Agricultural's 2021 Young Farmer of the Year competition. Welcome, Joandra. Die is 'n boer, julle. Sy het nie 'n kortbroekie aan nie. Then we also have Monica Basson. She's from Stellenbosch University's Agri Sciences faculty. Monica seems to be holding on to a banner, but please come to this front. Give a round of applause for Monica, please. Well done. Just want to check, is the Agricultural Research Council here? There we go. Can we please have Kuleliwe and Tombela come to the stage as well? Welcome. So this is a very interactive part. Julle moet nou julle vrae reg kry. Please prepare some of your questions for the panelists upstage. And today we're just going to chat to them a little bit about their careers within the agricultural sector. And I'm first going to ask them to briefly introduce themselves to you, and then we'll get the show rolling with questions. So please, we'll start at this on the side. Yes, it should be on.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kululiwe Ndombela, and I come from the Agricultural Research Council, which we are based at University of the Western Cape here in Cape Town.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Monica Basson. I am from Stellenbosch University from the Faculty of Agri Sciences.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Joandra Gregory, and I'm a chicken farmer in the Western Cape.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Celia Lowe. I'm a private veterinarian, and I also do work for the South African Pork Producers Organization of South Africa. I'm the Western Cape liaison for them. So yeah, I'll be talking about veterinary science and everything that's surrounding that and agriculture.
Maybe we can stay with you, Dr. Lowe. I know that veterinary science is a very difficult thing to get into. And to the learners sitting here, what do you need to do on school level to be able to study? And I know that there's only one university in the country that actually offers this course specifically, and getting in is tough. So what are some of the guidelines and advice that you can give to the learners here today?
Well, it's almost as tough as looking into the sun. So you won't be seeing my eyes today. But yeah, veterinary science, unfortunately, only 140 students get selected each year. From across South Africa, and a certain percentage of that 140 must come from Africa. So it is a very, very difficult place to get into, just because of the numbers and because there's only one faculty, and that faculty is at Tikkies, at Onderspoort Veterinary Science. And yeah, from a school level, I mean, if I look at my own journey to becoming a vet in 2005, I qualified, and basically my parents made me go out on weekends to the animal welfare societies, go to veterinary practices, go onto farms, and really get practical experience and really see what life is about on with agriculture. So it's important as a scholar to actually go out and work for free. It's basically charity work. It's for you to put on your CV and really get your hands dirty and really know what you want to do and what field you want to go into. Once you've got that on your CV, the next step is academics. You do need to have very good academics behind your name, especially your science type of subjects like your physics, maths, biology are all very important. But after the academics, another thing that they do look at, and as I said, there's only 140 students per year getting selected. Everyone will have good marks. everyone is for the past 10 years really working at charities and trying to build up their CV. And the third thing that I've personally helped me was having a good balance, a very good balance in life. Is you can't just be academically strong. You can't just have a CV with a lot of jobs that you've done. You do need to have balance with sport, with culture, and all those things, because that makes you a balanced person. And everyone here that is in the working class will know if you want to do business with someone, you want to do business with someone who's got balance, that can talk about a whole variety of things. And it's not all about just basically having great academics. Everyone who want to become a veterinarian does have good academics. So you do need that balance. So be part of sport, be part of culture, be part of social groups, and don't forget to enjoy life. But yeah, so it is. That's just in short. If you want to know more about it, you can go on the Tikkies website. I think Agri Careers will also have it on their website. And then you just go search for Onderstepoort Veterinary Science, and they'll give you the options. I mean, to become a veterinarian, to become a veterinary nurse, or an animal health technician. And those are the 3 courses that they do. And those are the 3 avenues you can follow when you go on the website and read more about it. It is a 6-year course after you get qualified. So you must also remember it is quite a long journey to study for it.
Sounds very tough, Dr. Lowe, but I'm sure that the learners here and the audience that's listening online, also listening live on RadioKC 107.7 FM is really excited about that. Is there anyone who's interested in veterinary science? Raise your hands. Please do ask questions, Dr. Lowe. I think you made it sound too tough for them. Still, niemand belangi. Maybe afterwards they'll come and talk to you. Monica, you wanted to add something.
I wanted to add something because you are all in grade 11, and the one most important thing that you have to remember today is that when you apply to a university or to a university of technology or to a college, you apply during your matric year and you apply with your grade 11 end of the year results. And you can't have good December results if you don't have good results in June, even if it's only a test series that you're going to write if you don't write a matric exam. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that this is a very important academic year that you are in at the moment. And then secondly, I know it's tough to get into veterinary science. I have heard so many and I've read so many success stories of students that didn't get into veterinary science the first time around. I've got Mia Estreisen at Stellenbosch. She did a BSc Agricultural Economics degree for 4 years, and then she wanted to do veterinary science, and then she entered veterinary science. We've got Aninka Jordan that did conservation ecology, and after her 3 years, she went into veterinary science. So if your package at the moment doesn't look the way that it is, but you've got that dream, that one thing that you really want to do, then go for it. Set yourself that goal and do it, and just use a different path in getting to that.
Thank you so much, Monica. Next, I'd like to ask Joandra. Joandra, they were describing a typical farmer earlier, and I don't think that when people look at you, you look like a typical farmer. I mean, you have dreadlocks. And she's wearing lipsticks and she has dreadlocks. What attracted you to farming, and how did your journey start?
Kids, I'm really sorry that I'm disappointing you today. I'm actually out of my element myself. Normally, I do not look like this. I don't do the shorts, but I do have a tight and a pair of gumboots. And like she said, I do have a pair of dreadlocks also, but I don't smoke the weed. I'm just clear. So they always say, don't judge a book by its cover. Today, don't judge me by my cover. My journey started very, very crazy. Like I said, and like she also said, when you think of farming, you have this vision, or you have this way that you think a farmer should look. Farming is not a very attractive industry at all. At all. It's always been a dirty industry. It's not that pretty. And like she said, I'm even wearing lipstick. So there is no time for that. Most of the time, there is no time for that. My journey started in 2016 when I gave birth to my second baby. I started my journey when he was 3 days old. I used to put him in a car seat in a black drum in my chicken coop. And I started with 300 chicks. So basically I had 301 babies. with the living and breathing one that I had to breastfeed. And a couple of weeks later, I sold my first batch of chickens out of the boot of my car in an informal settlement. So there was no lipstick, there was no glitz and glamour. It was extreme hard work. Hard work and patience, a lot of patience. I didn't go to school to study agriculture. My world or the two worlds, my world then and agriculture was like literally two different things. I never even thought I would have ended up here. But then again, a person's life journey is not always what you think, but what God has set out for you. And I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Thank you, Joandra, for sharing a bit about your story. I'd now like to maybe go to Monica. Monica, it is very difficult to make a decision from the get-go what avenue you'd like to follow, specifically when there are so many options out there. What is your advice when learners are considering agricultural sciences and how they should then prepare for stepping into that sector?
I think the most important thing is that you must really love what you want to do, or that you must be really interested in what you want to go and do. You know, I know that as youngsters, you always think that it's always nice to have a work, but you spend a lot of time at work, and if you don't love what you do, and if you don't like what you do, if you don't get up in the morning and you really want to go to work, that is the most dreadful thing that can happen to you. So I do think when you choose a career or a field that you want to go and study into, do look at your strengths. What are you good at? What are you not that good of? And be honest of why aren't you good at something? Is it because you're just too lazy, or you don't like the teacher, or because there's many reasons why we're not good at something, you know? So look at your strengths, look at what you're good at, look at your personality. Are you an extrovert? Are you introvert? Where do you feed off? Do you need people to, you know, and you choose courses or programs or directions that suit your personality, then you've got a bigger chance of being successful within that field. I think with agriculture, the wonderful thing is that there's massive opportunities within the agricultural sector. It is part of a scarce skills environment. We need it. We need knowledgeable people in it. So it's actually a field that you don't make a mistake by going into that into agriculture, but obviously you need to want to make a difference. You need to have a love of the land. You need to be able to work hard, and if you don't want to work hard, then please don't go into the sector, because it's a tough sector to be out there. But it's an in-demand sector in South Africa, worldwide. So there's opportunities not only in South Africa for you if you do go into agriculture.
I think Kuliliwe and Ntombela, you wanted to also mention something, just following up on Monica's question. And then maybe you could also just expand a little bit about the work that you do at the Agricultural Research Council, and what field of study did you have to take to be able to land your job?
Firstly, I would like to add on to what Monica has said about choosing the type of career that you want while you're still in high school. So if you want to go into agriculture, for me, I would say, or I would advise you that don't limit yourself. Don't have this image of agriculture, so now you're only thinking about boots, shorts, and a t-shirt. There is a lot of careers within agriculture that is not only based on just going into the veld and then preparing the veld or looking after chickens, maybe pigs and cows. You can be an administrator, you can be a bookkeeper, you can be an agricultural economist, you can deal with money. So don't only look at agriculture and only just see a farmer in the veld walking with their animals, or a farmer in the veld doing hard labor with their hands and plowing stuff. There is also other opportunities that you might not be aware of, and perhaps that is why we are here today, to actually acknowledge you guys or give you guys more knowledge of what other careers are there in agriculture that potentially don't necessarily mean that you have to go out into the veld. If you like nice jobs, or if you want to say I want an office job, you can still get an office job while still being involved in agriculture. If you want to be out in the veld, you can still be out in the veld but still being involved in agriculture. So to me, it's like, don't limit yourself. in terms of thinking, no, this career doesn't look so appealing, so I will not join it. It's very much fun. As much as there's hard work in it and you need to be prepared and you need to be determined, but also there are benefits to it. There are rewards to it that are actually fun. And while you're working, there is fun to it. It's not just hard labor 24/7. There are fun moments within it also. And also you actually get to learn and grow as a person through it. And then in terms of what I do with the Agricultural Research Council, unfortunately, I'll have to disappoint you. I'm not a farmer myself. I'm not a farmer myself, but I do research with farmers. So that's where I'm involved in terms of agriculture. So what I do, I go out into the different provinces of the country, into different towns of the country, and I specifically talk or I engage with people who, or farmers who are farming with livestock, so your sheep, your cattle, and your goats. I mostly focus on those. So I go out and do research with them in terms of their knowledge of how they are actually farming and their knowledge of the felt. And then we sit and we combine their knowledge and my knowledge, which I gained at university, which is scientific, and then see at the end, how can we try and make sure that their farming is successful. It provides them with the benefits that they need in terms of the meat that they get, the money that they get from it, because they do get money, and also then how they can make sure that they take care of their veld. Because when we see the veld, we only just see bushes and grass, but when they see the veld, they see food. So for me, it's going there to the different countries, to the different provinces of the country, in places where it's dry, where you look at it, you don't even see green, you only just see brown because they are the dry areas. But for them, it's a place that offers food for their livestock. So for me, I do research in terms of how do they actually farm in these dry areas to make sure that they are successful in their farming and also that they can continue farming in the next coming years, and also their children can then take up farming. And then in terms of what I had to study to learn to land this job that I currently have at the moment, it was, as Monica said, sometimes you can divert from your life. Because when I entered varsity, I entered as a biodiversity conservationist. And then 2012, I got an opportunity to go with the Agricultural Research Council and then to visit the different farms and the different farmers that they work with and then see the type of work they do. And that's where then I fell in love with this type of job that I'm doing. So at varsity, I did conservation biology, which is basically taking care of nature and taking care of the plants that are there and the animals are there. But now what is so beneficial for me is that I get to combine my educational skills that I got and the educational knowledge that I got. I get to combine it with the work that I'm currently doing now, which when you think about it, it's not even related at all. Because when you think of a conservationist, okay, they're conserving the plants, so they're making sure that the plants are not eaten by animals. But then when I come in and do my work, it's like you can combine the two. You can still protect the plants, you can still protect the animals, but at the same time, the animals can still also eat these plants. It's just a matter of how do they eat them. So that's where then my work comes in to advise the farmers. How can your animals eat the different plants? And how can they make sure the farmers now, how can they make sure that their plants in the area doesn't run out because they use natural felt where I work and they don't use like the feedlots where some of the farmers then do have. So I would say that go into agriculture, but go into agriculture with an open mind. Don't go into agriculture with a closed mind or being a narrow-minded person, because you get to learn a whole lot of different things that you never knew in the first place. And you get to balance your life also, because now you see that there are different things that are happening in agriculture that balance you as a person, that teach you also how to present yourself as a person, and also you get the perks of it. Like for me, I've been to a lot of provinces, I've been to a lot of towns, I've even been overseas with the work that I do. So there are other perks of it that are there and they are beneficial, but then those are just the extra benefits of it. The one main benefit needs to be you doing what you love and being passionate about what you're doing, and then doing it for the sake of helping people out there to improve their lives. That's all.
Wow, thank you so much for your insight. I can definitely hear your passion coming through very strongly. Dr. Lowe, I'd like to move back to you. Um, more about the work that you're doing at the South African Pork Producers Organization and also some of the engagement that you have with farmers. So your work is not only doing one thing, it's actually as dynamic as Kulelewe was saying. Maybe you could just elaborate a bit about that.
Yes, about 3 years ago, I mean, I was a mixed animal private vet doing all kinds of dogs, cats, wildlife, cattle, sheep, goats, llamas, you name it. And I was working here from Wellington. And in 2017, I got offered a position with the South African Pork Producers Organization, who are a non-profitable organization who try to help the commercial farmers, the commercial sector in the pig industry. But also they've got a small part, about 10% of their business, also they want to help upcoming small-scale farmers to try to improve them to also come into the commercial market. So they asked me if I can maybe assist just on a mentorship basis, just on some Q&As in the Western Cape. So, I mean, yet again, the diversity. One moment I was doing surgery with dogs and cats and cattle, had blood on my hands, and next moment I had to dress up like this and go sit in front of children, go sit in front of students, go on farmers' days, talk to farmers, and it changed my life because suddenly I had actually more time with my family, and I didn't have to have a 7 to 8 hour, 8 to 10 hour job. My life changed a little bit, and it was for the better. It gave me another opportunity. What I also realized in the agricultural sector when I started doing work for the South African Pork Producers Organization is how diverse it really is. I mean, we've employed someone who's got an arts diploma because he has to do animations for us. And it's all agriculture. It's all animations about pigs. How do you treat pigs? How do you look after pigs? It's all animated because in South Africa we've got 11 official languages. So how do you communicate? So we had to get people in on marketing with art, artistic people, to help us enjoy the job and actually be able to talk to people. So yeah, it is a very important aspect. When I started at South African Pork Producers Organization, and I'm just contracted there, I don't do it full time, we only saw maybe about 40 or so small-scale farmers when we started. And today we are well above 400 farmers that we are actually seeing on a monthly basis across South Africa. And it's not just me. We've employed people in each province, business development managers, that they actually go out to these farms and they mentor these farms. There are thousands of farmers out there. And at the moment, our capacity can't get to all of them. So we do work very closely with the Department of Agriculture and with people like Food for Mzansi to try to put the word out there through digital media, and that's where all the arts and stuff comes in. And we now are growing that type of area of educating people about farming, warning them about diseases. You've all heard about the African swine fever that's across South Africa, but also for the first time in the Western Cape. We all know about the bird flu that's now coming from the Gauteng into the Western Cape. So how do we tell the 5 million people in the Western Cape very quickly there's a problem in specific areas? Be careful when you buy livestock like pigs or poultry or movement of pigs and poultry. And the best way is to have a digital platform. So for the past year and for the past 6 months, I've been heavily involved as a veterinarian with digital platforms and WhatsApp groups, Instagram, Facebook, all these things. I mean, last year when we also had an educational day in Paarl, I was bombarded that I have to take little selfies, and my face is not ready for that. But I had to get used to it because I changed my career part-time to do it, and it's reaped the benefits for all people across South Africa, and it's all agriculture. Everything is agriculture. What I've also realized since last year when COVID-19 came and we had to have masks on and our worlds changed, what was the biggest essential working group that still had to work 24 hours, 365 days since the outbreak? Agricultural workers, because we have to eat food. That's our primary source. It's the primary thing that we have to do every day. So by looking at that, the sector of agriculture is massive. And I'm just very proud to be part of just a small part of it. As a veterinarian, I mean, my dad, my brothers are farmers, so I've got the whole gene pool in me that I do enjoy all of it. And my veterinary side is actually minimal at the moment. But yeah, that's how life changes. Every few years, your life can change, but you have to be adaptable and have a balanced enough mind to be able to adapt to it. But it's an amazing journey, the agricultural side of if you want to go into it.
Dr. Lowe, I'm sure that a few of the learners would want to take some selfies afterwards, so you better make sure you have your... maybe I could move to Joandra. I think that the group that is in front of us and the audience that's listening live and also on RadioKC 107.7 FM, they don't really understand that women actually take up a big part of the sector as well. Was it exciting for you to be part of such a dynamic sector as a woman and a female farmer? And maybe you can highlight some of the challenges and also some of the benefits and some of the exciting things that you've experienced. I mean, you were also one of the finalists in this year's Agri Western Cape Young Farmer of the Year competition. What did that feel like?
Let me brief first. Being a woman in the industry itself is challenging. Just you as being a lady, doing what guys normally do, even when it comes to selling your product or introducing certain things to certain people, you will always get those guys who think they can hit on you for a discount. But I think those are normally the guys that will pay higher prices than anybody else. Being part of the Santam and Agri West Cup Young Farmer of the Year competition was an extreme privilege. It was a privilege because I'm all about motivating and inspiring others. And from where I started out with absolutely nothing, nobody funded me, I didn't get a grant from nowhere. Just being able to be part of that competition, I wanted to say to other people that you do not always need the glitz and glamour. You can do it with starting out with nothing. Passion needs to be there. Patience, obviously. If you think you're going to do it on your phone, forget about it. Farming is not something that you can do through WhatsApp and Facebook. We have to get our nails dirty sometimes. And when just before, doctor just touched on the swine flu, we as poultry farmers is now faced with the bird flu. So 2 weeks ago, because I also mentor and train other people like me, people that want to start out with absolutely nothing. So over the Western Cape and in and around South Africa, I train and mentor about 100 smaller guys, the informal guys that he spoke about. That is the guys that I train and mentor. So we had, with SAPA and Department of Agriculture, we had an informative session on the farm. And we also started our poultry place started a Boermakkerplan program. And why Boermakkerplan is because when you're a farmer, you sometimes have to put on different hats. Hats of a vet, hats of a researcher, hats of a mommy, hats of an auntie, hats of a salesperson. So I started this Boermakkerplan program and had such an overwhelming response to it. And the reason for the program basically and merely is that as a woman in agriculture, I want to help others who wants to start but doesn't know where to start. Doesn't have the money to start, but have the passion to start. It's basically the person who realized that poultry is what I want to do, but I didn't go to agricultural school. I didn't go to varsity. Some of them doesn't even know where to start. So the program is basically merely there for those people who doesn't know where to start and how to start, but definitely want to start. So as a woman in this industry, it will never be easy. I accepted that. There is no time for looking pretty all the time. I accepted that also. But it's very fulfilling. And I love what I do. Like any other job, there is going to be challenges. There always will be. If it was easy, everybody would have done it. So you need to find that value and strength within yourself to say, listen, I might not be the brightest. Maybe I don't want to be the next Brian Abana because I didn't want to. I wasn't very physical in school. I didn't want to play netball, but I didn't have this opportunity. In my school, this agriculture as subject wasn't introduced to me. So it led me to a total different journey. It led me to science for 2 years, and I decided, this subject is making me drink too much. Let me get the hell out. Got the hell out, ended up in the corporate world for over 10 years. And then I was like, no, man, this thing is also not working for me. So, like she said, your life's journey is not, it might not be what you see today. And it can change. It's okay to change. Change is actually growing and evolving. Change is a beautiful thing. So if you're done with grade 11 and you don't want to be a teacher anymore, it's fine. It is absolutely fine, guys. But make use of this opportunity that you guys got to be or exploring agriculture in a very early stage of your education. Use it, abuse it, actually. And here you guys have the people who is in different sectors of the industry. You don't just have to be the girl with the gumboots like me. You can be the glitz and the glamour on my left and on my right. But what I'm saying is appreciate your journey. It doesn't have to be cut in stone. If it changes, it changes. But make use of opportunities like this.
Thank you so much, Joandra. I don't think I could have said it better myself. I'd now like to just close off with Monica for last statements. Maybe you can break down some of the opportunities at Stellenbosch Agri Sciences Department, bursaries if they would like to apply, and also what the benchmark is for qualifications and being able to apply to your university.
Okay, I think it's important to know that you don't have to go to a university to be successful. There are so many opportunities out there where you can further your studies. So obviously I'm from Stellenbosch University now. What I would love you all to come there, but it's not all suited for us. You know, if you are a type of person that would rather learn hands-on of a subject field, then it's better to look at other institutions where you can go and study, because at the university you will study in-depth theory. Jy sal met jou boude op jou stoel sit, jy weet, and you will learn a lot. So make sure that you also don't only choose an institution because there's glitz and glam or a little bit of fame to that. Don't do that to yourself. At Stellenbosch University, within the Faculty of Agri-Sciences, we've got 11 different departments, and it ranges from genetics to food science to forestry and wood sciences, straight through to plant and soil sciences, agronomy, 11 different fields that you can find some information in the brochure that we've added into your goodie bag. To study at the university, it's a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture that you do, so you will have to have mathematics and physical sciences. And I know sometimes that is a bit of a challenge to students. So if you don't have those subjects, please look at agricultural colleges like Elsenburg Agricultural Training Institute, that is 10 kilometers outside of Stellenbosch. They have awesome degree programs, diploma programs, learnerships, internships that students can do there as well. And you can even study within agriculture online. If you go to Agricultural Colleges International, for instance, they've got online versions. So there's no reason why you can't study if you don't have a particular subject. As I've said before, most important, grade 11 end of the year results. And it doesn't matter what you want to go and do, grade 11 end of the year results are important. You apply during your matric year, usually on the 1st of March it opens, usually closes by the end of June or end of July. And yes, bursaries and loans, there's ample bursaries and loans available within the agricultural sector. We get almost on a weekly basis, we get companies that say, but we want expertise in 4 years' time, so I am willing to give money to students that are willing to work hard or that want to go into a specific sector. That usually only opens up in the middle of June or in the middle of April, usually those, but you do that also prior to the year that you're going to study. So you don't only do that after you matriculated, you do all those things within your matric year. My telephone number is in the booklets there, and please, you have, as Leandra has said, that you've got a source here of people that would like to help you. The one thing that I've learned is ask for help. and ask until you get the help that you want. So if you get a closed door, you just ask the wrong person. Just go to the next person, but don't stop. And if you're too shy to ask a question, ask your teacher to ask the question. Ask your mom to ask the question. Ask your best friend that is always bubbly and not shy of anybody to ask the question. But don't not ask questions until you get the answer. Thanks.
And then on that note, as julle enige vrae het, if you do have any questions, I'll have one round just for the students who would like to ask any specific questions. Next, over to you. Maybe you can say, Kulilewe, what are some of the opportunities at the Agricultural Research Council? Any internships, if you'd like to start out, even just a job shadow, is that a possibility?
So with Agricultural Research Council, yes, there are bursaries for people who like to go into the agricultural sector. There are adverts that go out on a yearly basis for maybe students who would like to go into university but they don't have the money. So there is that opportunity with the Agricultural Research Council where you can get a bursary to further your studies. And also once you get to a postgraduate platform or postgraduate level where you've now completed your first degree, you're going on to your second degree or third or fourth, depending where you want to learn, where you want to land. There is also internship programs that are there on a yearly basis where people can apply and then they can form part of the internship program where you are basically working for the Agricultural Research Council in the specific sector that you would like to work on. If it's in IT, you can go work in IT. If it's in graphic design, you can go work in graphic design. If it's in maybe economics accounting, then you go into the economics accounting side of it. And also there is an opportunity that was there before that they used to call the PDP program, which is basically they give you a bursary for you to further your education or to go into university and study, but at the same time they're giving you the work experience that you need. So you get both in one, where you both a student and also at the same time you're getting the work experience, so that when you're done working, it's much more easier or much more not relaxed, but it's much more you get a higher opportunity of landing a job because now you have the bursary that paid for you, so you have the qualification and also you have the skills and the experience that you learned through the internship programs or through the PDP programs, which is where you study and work at the same time. And also, as I would like just to add on to what Monica said, if you don't have money, ask people. There is a lot of bursary opportunities out there. Ask people around. They will tell you that, okay, there is this bursary that's out, so apply. If all face, I'm a student who studied on NSFAS. I'm a product of NSFAS, and I'm not scared to say that because my parents did not have money. So I studied through a loan with the NSFAS, and I'm where I am today because of not shutting down and saying there's no money, so therefore I'm going to sit and I'm going to wait until there is money. Don't wait until there's money. Go out there and ask people and look for opportunities. And if a person doesn't know, ask the next person. You will eventually find a person who has the information that you need. And with the recent times and technology, it's easy to find information on the internet. You can just go on the internet and you find the information you need, and then therefore you contact the people that you need to contact in order for you to get the money that you need to study. As long as you are passionate about it, you will get the money to study.
Thank you so much, Kuleliwe. We really appreciate your insights and inputs. And hopefully one of these days, one of these learners will sit where you're sitting today. Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much to the learners for listening. Do you have any questions specifically that you'd like to ask? If not, we'll move on to the next segment of our program. Any questions? Speak now. Ga je later vra? Okay, they'll ask later. Thank you so much to all the panelists. Can everyone give them a round of applause? Well done. Thank you so much. Okay, we're still on schedule. Thank you so much. Bandile will be joining me again. Remember, he's also broadcasting live on RadioKC 107.7 FM. We're reaching lots of audiences today. You can also watch this live on www.foodformzansi.co.za. Also on Facebook, our YouTube channel. You can all watch on those different platforms. Is julle nog reg? Are you guys still good? Yes. Can we stand up just so that I stand een bietjie op? Let's stand up. Stretch our legs a bit. Okay. So in the booklet, we have a little quiz. Ek hoop julle het penne. We'll just run through the first few questions in the quiz. Let's just do a little move around. Wil julle nie beweeg nie? Just do a little move. Julle moeg gesit as julle nog okay. Is everyone still fine? Waar is die leerders van Gouda? Waar is die mense van Saron?
Hier so.
Waar is die mense van Portewil?
Hier is hulle.
Okay, you can sit down again. Glad that you got a little bit of a leg stretch. So in your little bag, there's a second pamphlet. It's an agricultural quiz that we put together for you guys, and I'm going to run through the first 2 questions, and we'll just want to test your brains a little bit. And the person who has all the answers right is going to get a prize. Okay, so grab your pens. I'm just going to quickly grab my quiz over there on the table. Bandile, if you could assist me. Thank you so much. And then after that, we're going to meet the winner of the Agri-Western Cape and Suntime Agriculture's new Young Farmer of the Year for 2021. His name is Alexander Gibson, and he's going to be chatting to you a little bit, so please do pay attention. He is the Young Farmer of the Year. But first, we're going to go through the quiz. I'm going to go for question 1. Bandile, what are you showing me? There's a quiz on the table. Sorry, okay. So I'm just going to read through the questions, and you'll answer me as we go along. To our audience who's online, please bear with us. Hopefully you can also get the answers right. And to the people listening on RadioKC, I hope that you'll also get it right. Julle kan so lank lees, you can read through the questions in the meantime. Okay, so question 1. Can you guess how cashew nuts grow? Do you know cashew nuts? It's musnete. Option A is upside down on an edible fruit growing on a tree. Is it option B, in a small bush on the ground, or hanging from the vines? What do you guys think it is? You don't have to say the answer. Just make a little mark there. Okay. Does Bandile want to do question 3?
Can I do question 2? How long does it take for a single pineapple to grow? Is it A, 1 to 2 years, B, 2 to 3 years, C, 7 to 8 years?
Oh no, it's 1 pineapple. How long does you think it takes for 1 pineapple to grow? And you guys, you can call a friend maybe. There's farmers in the back. Maybe you want to ask them. Okay, question 3. When did humans start farming? Was it 10,000 years ago, 15,000 years ago, or 12,000 years ago? Do you have the answers? Hulle dink nou hard, juffrou. Did they go through this? Do they know this? Okay.
Question 4. What is the oldest method of preserving food? Is it A, smoking, B, drying, C, pickling? You got it? Okay, they're still thinking about it.
Are they still thinking about it? Bandile, do you know the answer?
I'll think about it too.
It could be, okay. Question 5. Which of these are sold to farmers to help control insect pests? Option A, locusts. Option B, butterflies. Or option C, ladybugs. What do you think, Bandile?
Okay, I just don't want to give it away.
Maybe ladybugs?
Could be.
Okay. Question 6. South Africa has a market-oriented agricultural economy that is highly diversified and includes the production of all the major grains except for one. What massive staple grain does South Africa have to import in large quantities? Option A, rice. Option B, wheat. Or option C, fruit. You have to choose. It feels like that, you know, like how they used to play the games and those competitions where you have to say, and the answer is?
It is.
Okay, 7th question. Remember earlier when we played the game? This is, what is an agronomist? Is an agronomist, they are experts in or students of garden cultivation and management. Option B, they study the numerous ways plants can be cultivated, genetically altered, and utilized to our advantage. Or option C, they are intermediaries between researchers and farmers. Do you have the answers? Okay, and then the last question is, what is an entomologist? Does an entomologist study soil, study birds, or study insects? Bandile, do you know?
I've got a half answer.
Are you going to Google it?
I'm going to Google it. I just don't want to give the wrong thing. You know, I want everyone to get the right answers.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you all to pass along. You put your name at the bottom, name, surname, contact number, and email address. And then you'll pass along the paper to the end of the row, and then we'll collect it. And now I'd like to also welcome Alexander Gibson to the front, please. Can we all give him a round of applause? Remember, this is the Young Farmer of the Year for 2021. A bigger round of applause. Yes. Welcome, Alexander. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hy het gevra of hy Engels of Afrikaans moet praat. So I said a little bit of both. Okay, that's fine. I think this mic has been sanitized, so you can take this one. Thank you so much.
Ja, goeiemôre almal and good morning everyone. Firstly, thank you very much for Dawn and Food for Mzansi for arranging this event. I think there's a lot of negativity around agriculture in the country, and this is obviously one of the most positive events that can happen. And I think it's very, very good that there's an initiative that can inform you at a young age of what's really happening and going on in agriculture. And yeah, thank you very much for my invite as well. I appreciate the opportunity telling you a bit more of who I am and what I'm doing and my view in agriculture as a whole. So ja, ek die laaste paar dae was ek so 'n bietjie in en uit die hospitaal met my 2 dogtertjies. So ek het nie regtig baie tyd gehad om voor te berei nie, maar die eenvoudige ding, jy weet, om oor landbou te praat is relatief maklik en eenvoudig. So ons kan daar lank hier so sit, maar ek het net 'n sekere aantal minute gekry om te praat. So ja, die wat my nie, ek is nou bekendgestel en voorgestel, en die wat my nie ken nie, my naam is Alexander Gibson, ek is 32 jaar oud en ek woon en werk in die Witzenberg Vallei naby Ceres op Doringkraal Agri. En ja, ek is al daar vanaf 2009, ek het 2006 gematrikuleer by Bonland Landbou in die Parel. En 2009 my graad gekry op Elsenburg in Stellenbosch, van waar ek plaas toe is. En ja, ons boer ongeveer met so 600 hektaar se vrugte, appels en pere hoofsaaklik. En ons het in piekseisoen so tussen 1200 tot 1500 werkers op die plaas. Baie van julle sal sekerlik vir my vra, hoekom landbou? Die antwoord vir my is relatief eenvoudig, hoekom nie? As jy, as jy kyk na moontlikhede in landbou, die panel discussion hiervoor het vir julle baie mooi uitgewys na die verskillende moontlikhede. Ek gaan myself vat as 'n voorbeeld. In 2009 het ek begin as 'n koelkamerbestuurder by Doringkraal. Ek het dit vir 'n jaar of 2 gedoen. Van daar af was ek 'n produksiebestuurder vir so 3 tot 4 jaar. Toe het ek personeelbestuur en akkreditasie gedoen vir 'n jaar en 'n half. Toe het ek pakhuis toe geskuif. Ek was 'n pakhuisbestuurder vir so 3 jaar tot waar ek vandag staan. So ek sê dit vir julle om aan te sluit by die vorige gesprekke. Ek dink daar's die opsies is legio. Wat ek jou nou genoem het is maar minimaal. Jy weet, daar's admin poste, sekretariële werke, finansiëel. Dit is eintlik never ending die opsies in landbou. So moenie dink ja, ek het my vellies aan, maar ek is nie die tipiese, kom ons sê bakkie boer kort broek vellie ou wat heeltyd agter die stuurwiel sit en deur die lande ry nie. Dit dit is nie waar landbou in elk geval meer vandag is nie. So kry jou kop reg as jy aan landbou dink, dit is glad nie die geval nie. Tweedens, hoekom ek sal sê landbou? Ek dink die laaste jaar en 'n half met COVID, daar's min dinge wat vir ons kon bewys dat landbou so belangrik is in Suid-Afrika en die hele wêreld. Ek meen, van klein seentjie of dogtertjie as jy in die huis is, waaroor droom jy, wat wil jy graag eendag word? Die 90% van kinders sal vir jou sê, ek wil graag 'n dokter word, ek wil graag 'n prokureur word. Dit is maar wat jy die antwoord kry. Party skiet vir 'n polisieman en 'n brandweerman, maar dan is hy nog 'n baba as hy dit vir jou antwoord. Maar jy weet, baie poste en baie beroepskeuses wat jy maak van kleins af, is daai algemene goed wat jy op die TV sien. En ek dink nie dit is verkeerd nie. Ek meen, of jy hou van glitz of glamour of nie, dit wat jy wil doen, jy weet, dit is jou ambisie, dit is jou lewe. Maar wat ek wel wil uitlig in landbou met COVID, was voedselsekuriteit. Mense moet eet. Ons het nie een dag stilgestaan vir die laaste jaar en 'n half, of dit nou 'n lockdown 5 was, toe jy nie eers by die venster mag uitgekyk het nie, het ons aangegaan met normale werk. Ons het prosedures en beleide in plek, moes ons gesit het, soos enige iemand, maar die werk het aangegaan. Mense het geld verdien, almal wat betrokke was by landbou kon geld verdien, en vandag, ek dink, put Suid-Afrika, hulle pluk eintlik die vrugte daarvan. Ek bedoel, as die landbou gestop was die land dood. Ons as Suid-Afrika, of die Suid-Afrikaanse landskap sukkel in elk geval klaar, maar landbou hou die ekonomie bo. So, ek dink jy's relatief veilig as jy in landbou betree. Selfs, as ons dink aan dokters, jy weet, almal dink, dokters was nou so onsaglik besig die laaste tyd, en hulle was, maar net seker is, daar's mense dokters wat spesialiseer in chirurgie, wat die snywerk doen, of pediatrie, wat kindertjies versorg, hulle was nie besig, die praktyke het leeg gestaan. So, ek dink landbou is 'n veilige plek om te wees. Dan sal jy, die van julle wat wel hier sit, wat in 'n landbourigting wil ingaan, sal dalk die vraag vandag vra, of het al gevra, of jy gaan dit nog vra, hoekom ek daar waar hy nou vandag is, en weer eens is die antwoord maklik. Harde werk, baie harde werk, baie deursettingsvermoë en ambisie. Kom ons vat vir Johandra as 'n voorbeeld. Ek is bly sy's vandag hier, ek is bly sy's genooi, en wat meer as 'n rolmodel en voorbeeld wil jy hê as Johandra? Sy moet niks begin nie. Sy verkoop 'n hoender of 2 of 'n kuiken of 2 uit haar boot uit. Ek meen, dis belaglik. 5 jaar later, kyk waar is sy. So moenie dink dit is jy het 'n platform of 'n basis nodig om te doen waarvoor jy lief is. Passie en ambisie, en then you go for it. Ek dink daar's 'n magdom klomp uitdagings in landbou, dit moet jy ook weet. Daar's meer uitdagings in landbou as in enige ander beroepskeuse wat jy sou maak, veral in Suid-Afrika. Ons sit met 'n politieke bestel wat baie keer onstabiel is. Ons sit met grondhervorming wat soos 'n wolk oor ons almal hang, en wonder, wat gaan nou eintlik gebeur? Jy weet, hoe gaan jy eintlik in iets in wat onseker is? Ons sit met klimaatstoestande in Suid-Afrika van die uiterstes. Ons op die plaas kry 'n magdom klomp haal. Ons kry sonbrand. Dit is die uiterstes, en dit is van die uiterstes in die wêreld. Maar dis alles uitdagings. En die lekkerste, dink ek, van boerdery is om daardie uitdagings te oorkom. So as jy hou van uitdagings, soos ek, dan is die landbou rigting verseker iets vir jou en vir jou pad vorentoe. So yeah, I think all the best for you guys and all the best for your choices you're going to make in the next year and you must make in the next year. And I hope to see each and every one of you in agriculture in the near future. Thank you very much. Dawn, I think I'm a bit short on my time, but you can ask me questions if you
No,
want,
it's
or if there's
perfect.
questions, then
It's
it's fine.
perfect, Alexander. I was actually just going to ask you. So, do you think that it's easy? You're just referring to Joanna, and I mean, she's a first generation farmer in her family. I'm not sure how many of the learners and people who's also being online is sitting there. I think it's a little. Is it more difficult for people to step into the sector if they don't have any background? You come from a farming family. Do you think it's easier for you and more difficult for people who don't have the background, or is the playing field kind of level for everyone?
No, it's definitely more difficult going into the agriculture sector without any knowledge of it and without a basis to start from. I had a basis. I grew up with it. It's in my blood. I have the passion for it. So it was very easy for me making a choice on what I want to do with my life. I think my challenge is obviously you get a platform to start off with, and what makes you different is your approach on how are you going to handle it and what are you going to do and what are you going to add to your business. You can't just I can't just get to the farm and do everyday life as it used to be. I need to change. I need to be innovative, and obviously, I want to be successful in my own way. And so there's definitely more challenges if you're not used to farming. But again, it's a challenge. And as I stated, if you like challenges, that's the way to go.
I think we have a question from one of the learners on this side, Alexander. I'll give the mic to her and then she'll introduce herself and also just ask you the question.
Ik is Biante. Ik heb net gevraagd om waar verkoop meneer je producten en hoe bemark je dat?
Ik moet nou eintlik jou vraag anders, waar verkoop ons nie die produkte nie? Dis makliker om daai vraag te antwoord. So ons is primêr uitvoergedrewe maatskappy. So alle appels en pere, alle vrugte wat gekweek word gekweek vir die uitvoermark. Persentasies is moeilik om te sê. Die hoofsaaklik op die stadium as ons van appels praat, dan is ons by Verre Ooste, China, Indonesië, Maleisië, daai kant gaan verskriklik baie appels afhangende van jou kultivar. Hoe rooier, hoe meer wil die Chinese hom hê of hoe perser. En dan baie van die vrugte gaan na Afrika toe. Goed soos Goldens, 'n groener Golden soek Afrika weer. Europa en Engeland soek jou meer tradisionele appels wat ons maar almal ken as Rolgalas, gestreepte Rolgalas en so aan, Pink Ladies. So dit gaan reg oor die wêreld. Ons uitvoerpersentasie op hierdie stadium staan so op 70% uitvoer, 30% lokaal en in die lokale markte gaan ons vrugte hoofsaaklik Pick n Pay toe en Freshmark wat nou vir Shoprite en Checkers almal bedien.
Thank you so much, Alexander. We have one more question from the learner and then we'll move over to our next panel discussion.
Hallo, mijn naam is Teik. Ik wil net vragen wat dit is studeren om in die richting te komen.
Ek het op Elsenburg gestudeer, plantproduksie. So Elsenburg het 'n verskeie, alles is landbou gefokus en landbou gedrewe. En daar's verskeie rigtings in landbou waaraan jy kan studeer. Myne was plantproduksie wat nou uit pomologie wat kernvrugte is en sagte vrugte is wat daai bestaan het. Dis nou appels, pere, perskes, lemoene, sitrus enige ding. So jy kan verskillende rigtings studeer op Elsenburg. Ek dink dit is die landbou college en universiteit wat daar is. En ja, so dit leer jou, ek dink is 'n goeie dis 'n goeie all-round kursus. Dis nie net op boerdery gefokus nie. Daar's bestuur van boerdery en mense, daar's verskeie faktore betrokke in daai kursus. En dis 'n 3 jaar graad kursus. Jy kry ek dink 'n 2 jaar diploma kursus ook daar. En ja, verskeidenheid beurse beskikbaar. So dit is wat ek geswat het, ja.
Baie dankie, Alexander. Can we all give him a round of applause? Thank you so much. Little bit more energy? Yes, that's how we do it. Okay, so I'm going to have our next panel discussion coming up. I would like to invite our panelist, Jodine Foster. She's from the Agricultural Research Council. Welcome, Jodie. Jodine. Then we also have Gary Patience. Hy is Ifani Saron, livestock farmer and co-owner of GT Agri Group. Welcome, Gary. And then I'd also like to invite Lucinda Dordley. She's the chief reporter at For Mzansi. Well done, Lucinda. Come on to the stage. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. Then we have Daniel Minar. He's an agricultural economist at Agri Weskaap. Welcome, Daniel. And then we also have Ricardo Silva. He is the Yay Baby digital concept editor and communications. Welcome, Ricardo. So as the previous panel discussion, we'll just ask them to introduce themselves briefly, tell us a bit about what they do and how exactly they fit into the agricultural sector. I think it's quite obvious with Gary and Daniel, but maybe, Ricardo, we can start with you.
Hi, guys. So I'm Ricardo. I'm from Yeah Baby. I'm the sort of the social media and marketing person at Yeah Baby. So everything you see on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever, all of the writing is sort of done or managed by me. So that's what I do.
Hello, my name is Lucinda Dordley. I'm the chief reporter for For Mzansi. I essentially make sure that our journalists get the stories out on time, I help them find their sources, and I make sure that the news is of good quality to actually go out and reach our audience.
Hi everyone, I am a postgrad student and researcher for the Agricultural Research Council. So Cooley, that was on the previous panel, is my colleague.
Goedemorgen allemaal, Gary Patience. Ik is die co-owner van een maatschappij genaamd GT Agri Group. Bestaan uit 2 delen. Die een deel was actually boer met beeste en skape. En die ander deel was een dienstlever voor commerciële boeren in die area. Was alle landbouwmachinerie en toerusting herstel vir hulle. So, ja, dankie.
Goeiemôre almal, ek is Daniel Minar, ek is 'n landbou-ekonoom by Agri Weskaap. So Agri Weskaap is 'n lede-gebaseerde organisasie. Ons verteenwoordig omtrent 3500 boere in die Weskaap. So wat ons basies doen, baie eenvoudig gestel, is ons beding op beleidsvlak, beding ons vir ons lede positiewe beleide. Ons kyk na wetgewing, ons kyk na allerhande beleide wat die boer beïnvloed. En ons probeer dit positief beïnvloed sodat die boer op sy boerdery kan fokus en dat hy nie na al die geraas agter die skerms hoef te fokus nie.
Kom ons bly sommer by jou, Daniel. Maybe you can start by telling us, what does an agricultural economist do and what do you have to study to become an agricultural economist?
Okay, so ek kyk na al die aspekte wat boere se winsgewendheid beïnvloed. En ek het BSc Agri gestudeer, landbou-ekonomie by Stellenbosch Universiteit. Ja, dis dit.
Hy het vir my gesê, hy praat nie baie nie, so jy moet vir hom vra, nee, you must ask him questions afterwards. Maybe we can go back to you, Ricardo. I mean, you were talking about Instagram, Facebook, Twitter earlier. How does social media fit into agriculture? And do you have to get your boots dirty, your shoes dirty, because you work in the agricultural sector?
I think actually this is the first time my shoes have been dirty in like 3 years, if I'm being honest. I haven't been on a farm in a while. Most of my work is done, behind a desk or on my phone. Literally, like I was doing some of my work just now on my phone. The thing is, everything needs to be marketed. Like I think one of the panelists in the last panel discussion said, marketing your business, whether it's a farm, which is a business, or anything else, needs to be marketed, especially now because, I mean, the internet is a thing. Like everybody, you guys probably know like ads on Facebook and ads on Instagram, like you see it all the time. That's pretty much what I do. I promote it, I write the copy for it. It's very much something you wouldn't think that it's part of agriculture, but a lot of things that you wouldn't think is part of agriculture actually is. So yeah.
Maybe over to you, Lucinda. I mean, you studied journalism and media, but you're also working in the agricultural sector, and your passion is writing. How does that fit into what we do at Food for Mzansi?
So I firstly did not imagine that I would work in agriculture. I thought that I was going to be, hotshot news journalist. But when you work in agriculture, you start realizing that it's really about telling the stories of people. Everything that we have comes from agriculture, sustenance, textiles for clothing, everything starts in farming. And when you start engaging with the farming community and you start understanding their stories and you have the opportunity to talk to them and really understand what the challenges are working in agriculture, it becomes such a fulfilling experience. Again, it's not something that I expected to find myself in, but it's something that I'm very happy that I have found myself in. And there's a passion that's growing for me in working in agriculture that I'm hoping will be sustained and continue. Because the lifeblood of journalism is really telling the stories of people. And there's so much struggle within the agricultural sector. There's often stories where we're engaging with farmers where they're not getting the help that they need from government and all of those sorts of things. And when you just take the time to listen to these people and tell their stories and broadcast their stories, very often that's also when government comes in to help them. So you have a little bit of a helping hand in the sector, which is always a very gratifying experience. And the entire team itself, you will realize everybody goes into it because they have a passion for people and for helping people. And yeah.
Thank you so much, Lucinda. Jodine, maybe we can speak to you. I mean, you said that you were a postgraduate student, you're working at the Agricultural Research Council. What attracted you to the sector, and how is it exciting for you? What makes you kick?
So my story is quite silly. It's one of those where you never know where your path is going to end up. And so I started as a conservation student in undergrad, and I really wanted to do marine biology as my major when I got to postgrad. But then in my final year, I had the opportunity to volunteer with the Agricultural Research Council at UWC because I wanted to do genetics, right? But I wanted to do genetics within the marine field, and we have a geneticist at our campus who is my supervisor for my postgrad. And then he basically dragged me along on one of these field trips in my final year, and that's when I got to meet Cooley and everyone else in the ARC at UWC. And being there, it was so enlightening because you come from your little own bubble and you get to meet people that are literally providing food to your table that your parents end up going to go buy. So what attracted me to the ARC was the work that they do, and that it wasn't just science-based, but it was people-based, and you get to hear the stories of farmers and farm workers. So we work within the realms of a communal farming settlement. So in Namakwaland, and I didn't necessarily work with the farmers, but I got to hear the stories of the herders and the time they put in and how they can tell you about the animals. And this one will be on that side and the herder will throw a stone over there and the livestock will move to the right again, and the herder will throw a stone on the right and they'll move to the left. And so we physically got to walk in their shoes on this field trip, and I got to experience what they experience on a daily basis. And we went back to their camp and we got a cup of coffee and we ended up speaking to them, and we realized that herding wasn't just a career for them. It wasn't their career path. It's more of a lifestyle, and it's more of a passion that they carry. And it's also one of those generational passed down knowledge. So because my father and my grandfather was a herder, I feel honored to be a herder. And it was those stories that attracted me to agriculture. And just trying to develop a way of combining my conservation background with what the agricultural background, well, the agricultural office had to offer me was so energizing, and it was something that no one else in my friend group and within my honors group was doing. So I was the only one in the department doing this work. And so I didn't necessarily have anyone that I could speak to, but I felt so encouraged by the work I was doing because my science, I could see it out. So I'd come back to the lab, I'll do all my analysis, and when we go back and we have a community meeting in Steinkopf, then the farmers sit there and they're so engaged because they're keen to learn from you as much as you learn from them. So I could actually see my work being lived out and making an impact in someone else's life.
Okay, I have one word for you, Jodine, passion. You sound like you have a lot of passion for the work that you're doing. So your work literally takes you from the lab onto a farm with herders. I mean, that sounds amazing. Do you guys agree? Yes, it's amazing. Okay, let's chat to Gary. Gary, you spoke earlier that your business is around farming, but you also offer another service where you actually help commercial farmers to fix and repair their equipment on the farm. Why did you decide to do this? And also, what did you have to study for this?
So, me growing up, I was always very passionate about cars and engines and, spanners and things. I used to break up my remote control cars and break or build something else.
I think my 3-year-old also does that.
And then growing up, I realized, growing up in a household where we do agriculture, fortunately for me, I realized, tractors have engines and things like that. So my dad actually convinced me to study something. So if I do go in agriculture and it doesn't work out, I have something to fall back on. And lucky enough, or I'm in a lucky position that I get to do both today. I did mathematics and science in high school, and then I studied at Northlink College in Belleville, and I can't really remember the subjects. I think it was also mathematics and science, and then obviously your trade subject. Yeah.
But Gary, as I understand that you're from Saron, where we're broadcasting live at the moment, but you were also able to travel through your work in agriculture. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yes, so after I qualified at the New Holland dealership here in the Western Cape, I got the opportunity to work for Caterpillar in Canada as a technician, heavy-duty technician. And it was a very exciting time of my life. I got the opportunity to work with farmers abroad. So when their equipment breaks down, I had the opportunity to go out to their farm and fix their equipment. And as soon as I'm done with the job, I quickly call the farmer one side, and then we'll talk about their farming operations and how they do things on their side of the world. So it was a real great experience. And even today, there's a big need for technical people in the agriculture in South Africa and across the world. I like to search the pages where jobs are advertised, and daily, even on LinkedIn, I still get people making contact, seeing if I would like to come back. And so there is a very big shortage for technical people in the agriculture sector. So maybe if you don't like the farming side and you like technical welding and spanners and things, it's maybe a field you can look into.
Yeah, I know that there are a lot of scarce jobs within the agricultural sector, and you just highlighted one of them. And I think a lot of the students are also busy with that at the moment. So it would be good to maybe chat to Gary afterwards about what he had to do and how he found himself in that position. Daniel, maybe we could go to you again. You said that you're an agricultural economist. You spoke a little bit about what you had to study. What is the most exciting thing about your job? It sounds kind of boring.
Jy weet, en soos wat hulle ook genoem het, is landbou gaan gebuk onder verskriklike baie uitdagings. En klomp van die uitdagings kan 'n boer self nie beheer nie. Iemand soos ons gaan dit vir hulle moet doen. En my werk excite my want ek weet die waarde wat ek toevoeg Dit kan dalk nie gemeet word nie, maar die waarde is eintlik van onskatbare waarde.
Sorry, I'm just
Denk
reading a
nog bietjie
message on my
praat.
phone. He's speaking. I was expecting you to talk a little bit more, but that's fine. Okay, Ricardo, maybe we can come back to you. I mean, I'm sure many of the learners here are on Facebook, they're on Instagram. What would you say is the best way to sort of market yourself or put your brand out there if you're considering to build your brand or if you want to go into the agricultural space? I mean, there's a lot of, we call them Instagram, Twitter farmers these days. They look so cool and they make it look so attractive that everyone kind of wants to be into it. But what would your advice kind of be for that?
Yes, so Dawn. Honestly, the first step is getting online. Is like, if you have a business, if you just want to start a business, even if you're just like growing something in your backyard and you want to start selling it, is just make a Facebook page. Start telling people about it. Tell your mommy, tell your aunties, tell everybody to just go like your Facebook page and to share it. And then from there, it spirals, it grows, it snowballs, man. Yeah, that's literally the first step, is just getting online, because the only way you're going to grow is to be in the space where things are growing.
Okay, thank you so much.
I just wanted to say, from what they said, because you want to tell your story. Like, that's the thing. It's not just the fact that you are growing something in your backyard. There's a reason why you're growing it. You're growing it because of this reason, because of that reason. Telling your story is what people care about. That's why people talk to you. That's why people talk to you in your everyday life. That's why they engage with you on social media, is because they want to hear your story and because they want you to hear theirs. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, Ricardo. And I think I'm on Facebook, but I don't think I'm doing enough. You need to. Maybe Lucinda, you could answer one of the last questions. What did you have to study, or what subjects were important to you to be able to follow journalism and media? I mean, I'm sure there's people that are passionate about writing in this crowd, and everyone is also listening online. What do you have to focus on?
So when I was at school, basically the minimum requirement that you need to study journalism is just be very good at your languages in high school. So if you have an aptitude for writing, be sure to focus on that. And then I went to study journalism at college because within the university system, journalism was slightly inaccessible almost, because at most levels you could only do journalism after doing an honors. And I was like, I don't really have time for that. I want to start working in the industry as soon as possible. So I did a 3-year-long diploma, and that in itself is very interesting because you learn how to work in different spheres of media. You learn how to work in radio, you learn how to work in broadcasting, you undergo creative writing courses and all of those sorts of things. And then the one thing that I have to emphasize is, if you have a love for the written word, be sure to engage with it often. So even if you are writing articles and you're not sending them to anyone, just make sure that you practice and in essence, educate yourself on it if you're a little bit shy to have your work published. I would also recommend starting a blog if you are able to get your stories out there. And it also works as a nice portfolio for when you do start applying for jobs, because journalism is a very, very practical field. Even when you're studying a lot of theory, it's always good to make sure that you have a nice, strong portfolio for when you actually do go out and start applying for internships and all of those sorts of things. And it's also an industry that's a little bit slow on growth. You can be an intern for a very long time before you land a permanent job, but always take every internship that you come across as a learning curve, but never something as, I'm this age and I'm still an intern. Everything that you learn on the job will definitely come in handy. Just persevere, be patient, and be sure that you really apply yourself to your studies, because at the end of the day, everything that you learn in the classroom is definitely what you will apply practically in the field as well. There's no lesson that goes to waste.
Thank you so much, Lucinda, and thank you so much to all the panelists. We appreciate you. Thank you for enduring the sun. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Can we give them all a round of applause, please? Thank you. Okay, I think we're done with this part of the show. I know that some of you needed to take a break already. Do you have any questions for them before we ask them before we say goodbye to them? Any questions? I think they're saving their questions for afterwards. So please be prepared to be swarmed by them when they're done. Okay, so thank you so much once again. Thank you to everyone. Do you have any last advice or anything? No, I think that's perfect. Oh, Gary.
So I just want to share a thought when I was in high school, I would always I stressed because I wasn't very strong academic, and everyone was doing good, and they would go on to go to university and things like that. But there are different routes. You don't. It's not necessary you have to go to a university or college. Me personally, I was someone I'd learn a lot easier when I did it hands-on. And today there's a lot of colleges or tertiary educational places where you can learn a lot more hands-on, and not as Monica said in the previous, where you bou de plak op die stoel en jy moet baie theorie leer. So ja, dis maar net 'n gedagte van my kant af is jy hoef nie alles deur die boek te doen nie. Daar is verskillende maniere om nog steeds by dieselfde doel wat uit te kom.
Thank you so much, Gary.
I think I also just want to add to that and just emphasize what the panel before this said with regards to perseverance. Perseverance is going to get you to your final goal. Wherever that goal is, perseverance is going to get you there. I swear ek is die lastige een in die kantoor want ek vra baie vrae. Ek is lastig. But it's because I am like that and because I continue knocking on doors. Although many doors close, there is another door. It just means that that door wasn't meant for you. So continue working, continue putting in the time and continue practicing your craft, because through that people are going to see that you are passionate about what you do. You might not get the marks academically, but you might be very good at the practical component. So knock on those doors, and if those doors close, knock on double the amount of doors, because one will open and you will end up being where you truly want to be. And it might not even be the path that you thought you would have to take. It might be easier, it might be a bit more difficult, but perseverance is key, always.
Thank you so much, Jody, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much to all of our panelists. We'll ask you again for more questions afterwards, but thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of the day. Can we give them a round of applause? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, we're almost nearing the end of our program for the day. Ek weet julle is al honger al, nee, julle het nog nie julle break gehad nie. So I just want to ask, point to me the person who can dance in this group. Wie kan lekker jika jika? Please, I just need 2 people. We'll just do 2 people. I remember you guys are getting a prize. I don't think you believe me, but you are going to get the prizes. Meneer Beerwinkel, wie kan dance in die groep? Maybe Mr. Beerwinkel wants to come and dance for us as well. No? I literally just need 2 people. Joandra, do you want to take them on? Okay, let's just, juffrou, is daar nie die 2 leerders wat kan dans hier? We just want, this is the last part of the program. We promise you can get your popcorn, you can grab a coffee and a donut before you leave. Just need 2 people for our dance-off. As julle skam, hoekom as julle skam? Julle ken mos almal mekaar. DJ, maybe we should get some music to get them in the rhythm. They're sorting out the music for us. Alexander, do you want to join them? He's laughing. Ek beloof julle gaan ek bedoel wie wil nie nou geldprys hê nie. Julle moet letterlik net dans. Moenie kies juffrou. Ek voel hy wil dans, moenie wat. Kom gou vir my op. Kom. Kom vir my op. Ah, kom op. Julle kom op. Kom. Julle staan vir my hier so voor. Staan vir my hier voor, ek gaan vir jou naam en wat is jou naam en van en jy is graad 11?
Sondra Kaster.
Okay, en jou naam?
Keenan Erasmus.
Okay, so hulle gaan nou is nog een persoon. Kom vorentoe, Peta. Come forward. Very excited. Just remember social distancing between all of us. Thank you. Kom vorentoe. Kom staan gou die kant. Wat is jou naam en jou van?
Naam is Igram Souls.
En waar is jy?
Ek het maar onlangs hier op bly ek van Monterrey.
Is eintlik van Montetjie, maar hy bly nou hier in Saron. Baie dankie dat you were brave enough to come and stand up here in front. So this is how it's going to work. You guys must encourage them while they're dancing. Each one of them will be able to come to the front. They'll show their moves. They'll strut their stuff. And at the end of it, you guys need to choose the winner. But please remember, we're not going to boo today. We're just going to shout. So if you don't like their dancing, you be quiet. But if you do like it, you have to make a lot of noise. Okay? Do we agree? Can we say agriculture is sexy? Agriculture is cool. Yes, I want you guys to be a little bit more excited. Okay, we're almost at the end. We're just sorting out music. And then we'll get going. As julle reg man, dan wil julle 'n bietjie strek. Ek weet nie watter strekoefeninge maak mense om te dansie, met julle bene 'n bietjie lig, julle arms. Almost there. Okay, here we go. Who's first? Wie's eerste? Come on, encourage them. Hey. Come on guys, encourage them. Kom. Okay, thank you. Hulle sê die musiek werkie vir hulle nie, but I think you guys were awesome. Can we give them a round of applause? Yes. Okay, so remember what I said earlier. If you like the person, you have to shout really loudly. And so you guys get to choose the winner. We're going to start with number 1 on this side. Okay, can we get some love for number 2? A little bit undecided. And then the last guy, number 3? So I think we have a clear winner. He's our winner for today. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to get a cash prize and just a picture. Thank you so much. We will give this cash prize to you. Well done. Congratulations. Thank you so much. You see, you just had to dance on stage. Thank you so much. Bye, dankie, Buddha. Okay, how was today? Did you guys have fun? Did you guys have fun? Did you learn a little about the agricultural industry? So what are you guys thinking? Do you guys think that you could possibly become agricultural economists? Journalists? Remember, it's very diverse. So there'll be opportunity for you to also speak to everyone that was part of today's panel. Please go and approach them. Tell yourself forward. Go and introduce yourself. Tell them who you are. Ask them a little bit more about the work that they do. And I would like to wish all of you very much good luck with your endeavors. Ek weet julle is almal landboustudente. Julle gaan awesome wees. The agricultural sector is waiting for you. And I would like to also thank all of our viewers online on Food For Mzansi as well as on RadioKC. We're also broadcasting this live on RadioKC. Sien maar vir julle mense sê luister op KC, né? Okay. Thank you so much. Ma'am, I just wanted to check, just in terms of the order when people are leaving, we'll have them get some popcorn over there, but please do go and engage with the audience. Thank you so much. Please do check us out on Facebook for www.foodformzansi for more updates about this event. En julle moet ons gaan like, né? Want julle moet gaan kyk waar julle gaan werk en julle kan dalk by ons ook aansluit. Thank you so much. And then also, sorry, I just want to call Ricardo up to the front. We have the winner for the quiz competition. So daar kry nog een persoon ietsie. My kind sê altyd ek soek 'n ietsie, mama. Okay, so let's get a drum roll, please. Can we call up Justin Erasmus? Woo! Give him a round of applause. Does he want to do a little dance? Is he going to do a little dance, Justin Erasmus? Well done, Joan. Okay, you'll get your little prize there from him. Well done. You got one of the top, you did the top quiz. Okay. Next winner, can we have... Hi, like mes, julle familie. Next up is Keenan Erasmus. Well done, Keenan. Het hy nie gedans nie? Kom maar vorentoe, jy het al die antwoorde reg gekry. Come forward. Maar nou moet jy weer vir ons dans voor ons gaan. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. And you guys can grab a popcorn and a coffee before you leave. Sterkte met alles. Baie thank you so much for tuning in and everything of the best. Baie dankie julle.